was Snickle Fritz. I found out it was Snickle Fritz. Snickle Fritz has been fucking around with me. How did you find out? I'll show you. Because it's been 9 years. And then when I looked, someone had all these, some evil demonic shaman has been sending Snickle Fritz a bunch of pictures. It's just a Pinterest account that I've not used because I don't use Pinterest. And I think 9 years ago I did. And it's the right amount of time wave thing to be affecting me in my consciousness. Now, and I see it. I see what it's doing. And that's interesting. No, I'm not mental fucking ill. You know, although it can present like that. I think it's the same thing if you're aware of nature beings and weird shit like that. You'll have interactions and phenomenon occur that could make you look like you're a fucking psychopath or a mental ill patient because they present a lot of the same shit. But the mental ill patient, they can't separate any of that shit. They just talk to people over there by themselves and they're not bothered by how it affects. It does not concern them. They'll sit over there and be talking to a group of nobody's there that people see, but they're having conversations with like entities and shit. Now, entities, whatever the fuck they may be, and there's all different types. There's negative ones and positive ones. Don't fuck with the negative ones because they're gonna like stick to you and vampire you. Nobody wants that shit. Vampires have AIDS. Fuck them. I don't care if they're energetic or not. Anyway, so some of the phenomenon, because I have these two friends and they were like tied together like a fucking nunchuck. One of them was very rude in what she said. So it was wonderful that she was dizzy and said she was an asshole. So I split the nunchucks after flinging them and hopefully flung her the fuck off. The other one, I'm like, I know you know how to be all right and decent, but you're not interested in doing any of that. You like to. Told her she should join a gang. She's not very ladylike at all, and then she's not very fun to be around. She's always trying to extract fucking something or name drop or tell you all the stories. I was like, you're more concerned with trying to get some position over someone than you are actually doing something with anybody. That's not fun, and it's clear to see, So, good luck with that shit. She's not having good luck with that shit. It's not fun. Nobody wants to have anything to do with her. Now I don't. She could be. But that's her interest. Her interest is trying to get into some position above the person, not, if it's whoever the fuck she's with nobody stays with her. Nobody, she doesn't have relationships, but she jumps into them so fast. It's sad a little bit, but I already knew all her shit. And I know she doesn't know. The other one knows. The other one knows the problem that she creates in the cycle and where she can alleviate it because she knows. She's been told, and I've been friends with her for a long time, and I don't like her. I can't stand being around her because she's a fucking bitch. Nobody wants to fucking be around a bitch. A lot of September fucking women are bitches. I've never got along with any fucking one of them because I'm a September person too. And Virgos just don't go together. You don't have Virgos together. Period. Now, there was one that I kind of liked, the Colombian chick, but as soon as she said she didn't like to give head, released, let her do her own thing. She was crazy though. She was fun. With that minor detail, if that were not the case, she would be great. Except her music sucked. I don't know. She came, and I let Eden take her away, my friend Eden, and do whatever the fuck they did, which she took her. She was with Eden's ex-boyfriend in the shack over at our friend's house for a month or so, something like that. And then when I asked you, I was like, "What happened to her?" He's like, some guy came and picked her up in a truck with a little kid." I was like, "That was her kid, wasn't it?" He's like, "I think so." I was like, "Yeah, I've seen him." I don't know what the fuck. She lone wolf. Nobody could get along with her because she was fucking mean, crazy. She told me, she's like, they got this shit in Colombia that they blow into people's faces and then rob you. Like they tell you to go, because you can't, anything they tell you, you have to go and do. Now that's in Colombia. They don't have this plant here, whatever they make this out of. Wonderful shit in the jungle. But if they blow this powder into your face, you breathe any of it, you're in a trance. And like they can do it, they can do whatever the fuck they want. You won't be able to not do what they tell you to do. And it's interesting. I don't know the name of the drug, but if you look it up, you'll find out. She's like, "Why don't you just blow that shit into the landlord's face?" I'm like, "Maybe you don't understand. We do things a little differently around here. You know, you fucking crazy motherfucker." She was fun. She was a secret society school dropout or reject. I don't know what it was. She got kicked out at the fire grade. She didn't pass the fire grade. I didn't have a area around me. I just went on with my life, so I didn't get kicked out. I just discontinued my limited but brief time with the Hermetic Order of Golden Dawn people, and it was fun. It was an experience. I just wanted to see how it would be interacting with people that all thought and was interested in the same shit. It was a good experience. Now my ex-wife thought I was having orgies with the, but I was not. There was no orgies going on. We were a Hermetic Order occult group. I got my material by passing my shit, and it was badass material, so I wanted to do it. I kept doing it. We went to Austin once. A bunch of us went, and what was cool was they had the people come in from California where they had like their main temple, and if you have that many people chanting, they do God forms where you vibrate the name of whatever form it is, and you turn your aura into it. And we did that at some fucking. We got us a rental van and met the other people in Austin at some convention center. But when you have 50 people and you do that, you put on Horus the God form, your fucking eyes, you get, my eyes was, I felt the claws on the hands, and then I got that, like my eyes were on the side like a bird. I could see all around my head. It was fucking badass. And I don't know if it had to do with there being that many more people all vibrating the words and shit. It fucking stands my shit up. That was the god form Auroras, which is Horus the Elder. That's why I named my oldest son Horus. Auroras. Because of that. Because I thought that was so fucking badass. And that's a badass Egyptian god. So obviously, I've got issues with my parent religion, the Christians, because they don't like all that shit. Of course, they want to worship every goddamn thing or whatever, and they're not really. The Egyptian gods are not gods like that. They're representatives of nature, you know, storms and fucking the earth and shit like that. They're anthropomorphized things you're already dealing with, and it gives you a way to interact with those forces in ritual, and it works, and it's a good system. So that was that. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people misunderstand. I don't really care for the way my parent religion, the Christians, do anything. I don't think any of the message of the Christ is any of that shit. In fact, I had my own personal experience with the entity I know to be the Christ, and that's what he said. He didn't come here to do none of that shit. He didn't come here to build that, and I agreed. And that's where it stands. But in my heart area, the chest, when I was in jail and I focused on that and did what I needed to do to pass my time and shit and interacted that way with the inner world, I was able to get this really powerful tingle in my chest because I had to go to trial. And my lawyer told me not to get on the stand and testify, but that feeling in my chest had been developed so well that it told me to tell him, no, I got to do it. And he's like, fine, whatever. You're going to lose. I won. He would have lost. Me. 4 or 20 years. When I didn't accept 4 years, they were going to take me to trial and the penalty would be 20. So that's pretty scary shit. But they're trying to say you did something you did not do, like in malicious intent, and that wasn't what happened. So I was fairly confident, but not in my lawyer. And every time I've used that lawyer, I've gotten into some shit because the first time it was out of high school, and it was just the court thought having him was like me, just like I'm privileged. I'm just gonna get off. Which no, I just had a lawyer, and he was doing a minimally effective job at that. Because we all got arrested going into a house. We had no business being in there, but they were trying to make us like we were burglarizing, and we weren't. We were not. They had like 96 people arrested within the next 3 months in the same house because it's like a urban legend or some shit. And for whatever dumbass reason, when they went and they asked me, did I want to go? I went. But I parked my car somewhere off site, and I hid my quarter-pound of weed I had in it real good before I did. So yeah, they towed my car, but I got it back. I don't remember my car not being towed. I think they did tow my car. I didn't put it far enough away, but I didn't get into no shit for it. I was able to get it out, but I did have a little bit of jail time. They tried to put me on probation and immediately failed me off of it. This, whatever the fuck they were fighting me and being dicks to me because of my lawyer. Now, looking on it now, I had more problems because he was my lawyer than any benefit. For real. He'll help you out with some legal stuff, but if you've got to go to court, then they might attack you because of him. And I have no idea what the fuck reason would be for that. Why would you take it out on me? I went to do the probation, which I had got, and it was like, however long the probation was, I don't even remember. But if you failed the probation, you'd have to go to either 6 weeks of boot camp or 45 days in jail. So she immediately failed me because the first time I came, you take a piss test, so I was dirty on that one, for weed. But the next one, she had already racked up the 3 things she needed to do because she told me I'd failed the first piss test, which you can because it's the first one. You weren't on probation before that, so that's fucked up. They know that, and they sell you that when they do it. 2, I had a job. And I brought my proof of work, which was my signed thing from my job. She said, well, I didn't turn it in. I was like, well, I went to go show her that I had it and that she had seen it. She's like, no, I didn't turn it in, which means I don't have it. I was like, oh, okay, I see what you mean. So are you going to go to the boot camp? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. And she's like, when? I left and moved here. No, I was not going to go to no fucking boot camp like that. Them railroading me. I'd fucking turn myself in later and I'd go to jail for 45 days. And that's what I did. 2.5 years later or whatever after I lived here. I learned chess from Steve, and then I went directly to jail. Do not pass go. And did my 45 days. And it was interesting. But I didn't like it. It sucked. Harris County Jail fucking sucks. But at that time, I got to work in it, doing the little tunnel where they go to court. I got to put the railroad killer guy in a cell. It was interesting. A little short guy little short Mexican guy used to ride the trains and murder people. Serial killer. I think his name was Resendez Ramirez. Whatever. Not the handsome guy. A real short, ugly, monster-looking motherfucker. Had some problems. One of these people from Mexico that, some of them are weird. And, they like to do crazy fucking evil shit because they worship some fucking Santa Muerte or they're in the cartel or some shit. Those are some gruesome ass people. I don't like that shit. I'm not into it. I don't want nothing to fucking do with it. And that's the same way you can tell with people that have the occult bent. You have people that are into nature and all that shit. You can tell because, you can see it. They interact with nature. The black magic people, they don't have that going on. So you know what they have going on. And that's what they get their power from. I don't like them. I don't like that shit at all. And if I don't see the nature of shit in their interaction, I know where they're getting their power from. They're negatively, dead babies and loosh and all the evil things. Which they can get power from that, but I'm not into that. That's freaky and fucked up. Not to say that it doesn't work. It's saying that it does work, but you don't have to be contacting demons and making pacts with demons. And if you're into that, maybe you got it from your family. I don't fucking know. I don't. I've periodically met different people and thought, and probably right, that they had some of that shit going on. And I discontinue any fucking thing with people like that because it's not, you don't want nothing, you don't even want that around you. It's horrible that it's so prevalent because of our leaders and all their shit, but they kill people. It's human sacrifice. You remember the Aztecs? That's what they were doing most days of the week. Was chopping out hearts at the fucking throwing bodies down. Because that's how you get power from the Orion beings. Service to self. They enslave and conquer the world. Life doesn't mean shit to them. It's very cheap. It will take your life. It's not, don't care about none of that. You can see the people that are fucked up and into the cult sort of shit. Buddhist mindset and trying to inner peace yourself and just chill out is more along the lines of what I like, what I'm interested in. Of course, I don't do all the ritual shit and try to golden elixir my fucking chi, but it's interesting to learn and listen to how to do that. So I do adopt some of the practices slowly over time, but I'm not into it like that. I'm not gonna fucking Taoist magically fight you. And I don't want to get into a Taoist fucking magic battle with anyone. No, no one of that. You can pretty much not have to worry about shit like that. There's nothing wrong with being aware and interesting and things like that. But no, I'm not one of them. I don't have a fucking guru or none of that shit. Although I know how to do the banishing rituals and stuff like that, I should be doing them every day. I just fall out of practice because I'm very chaotic in my shit because I like that. I like it to some degree. But I am trying to get a little more orderly, which I generally like a little more chaos. But not in my daily life where I don't have a place to live or I don't have my fucking shit paid for. Not like that. Just like well, you know what you know. I don't think we should have a cookie cutter existence, everybody in the same thing. I like a little bit of variety. That's what I'm saying. The variety of chaos isn't destructive and all that shit. That's not what I mean. One should clarify. Chaos is not your friend. I don't care how well or how much you believe that. It's not. It's none of our friends. It's a force of nature. The uncreated universe still wants to gobble up the created because it's part of it. It wants it back. And that makes sense to me.